Hi, I am Dr. J.P. Silvera from Tailor Made Health and Wellness, and I want to tell you about a patient who almost talked herself out of getting checked. She came in 3 days after a rear end collision. No ambulance, no trip to the emergency room. Nothing that, from the outside, looked like a serious event. And when she sat down across from me, the first thing she said was, I almost didn't make the appointment. I felt totally fine the day it happened. By day 3, she had neck stiffness that had crept up on her overnight, a headache that had been quietly building since the second morning after the crash, and some tingling running down into her right shoulder. She was confused because nothing had hurt at the scene, so she had waited. And in that waiting window, the inflammation had been doing its work without her knowing it. Here is what most people do not understand about whiplash, and honestly, it is the most important thing I can share with you in the next few minutes. Whiplash does not always announce itself on impact. The reason for that is not mysterious. When your body goes through a collision, even a moderate one, it releases a surge of adrenaline. That adrenaline is your nervous system doing exactly what it was designed to do. It floods the system, it sharpens your focus, it keeps you functional, it also masks pain. So you get out of the car, you check on the other driver, you trade insurance information, you drive home, and you genuinely feel okay. Because in that moment, you are. The problem comes 1 to 3 days later when that adrenaline clears and the soft tissue inflammation finally surfaces. The muscles around your cervical spine have been strained. The ligaments have been stretched beyond their normal range. The surrounding tissue is responding. And by then, a lot of people have already convinced themselves that because nothing hurt immediately, nothing happened. That logic feels reasonable. It is also the logic that lets an injury go from manageable to chronic. So let me walk you through what actually happens when someone comes into TaylorMade after an accident, because I think a lot of people avoid making the call because they do not know what to expect, and the unknown is uncomfortable. The first visit is an assessment. That is it. We are not putting hands on anyone in the first conversation. We are listening. We are asking about the mechanism of the crash because the direction of impact, the speed, whether you saw it coming, whether you braced, all of that tells us something about where the stress concentrated in your body. Then we are doing an orthopedic and neurological evaluation to understand what we are actually looking at. We explain what we find in plain language, not in jargon, not in a way that requires a medical degree to decode. You will leave that first appointment understanding what happened in your body, what it means, and what your options are. We also handle the paperwork. I know that sounds like a small thing, but for someone who just went through an accident and is now dealing with insurance and possibly an attorney and possibly a rental car situation and all the rest of it, the last thing you want is to figure out billing on top of everything else. We take care of that side of it. We work with auto insurance. We understand how personal injury protection coverage works. Our team handles it so you can focus on the part that actually matters, which is healing. Care at TaylorMade happens in English or Spanish, whichever is more comfortable for you. That is not an afterthought. We built it into how we operate because it matters that you understand exactly what is happening with your body and exactly what we are recommending. Communication is part of the care. And here is something I want to be direct about because I think it reflects the way we actually work. If something comes up during your evaluation that is outside what chiropractic care addresses, we will tell you that. We will point you toward the right person. Whether that is imaging, a referral to a specialist, or coordination with your medical doctor, we are not going to manage something that we are not the right fit for. That honesty is not a liability for us. It is the whole point. Now, back to the patient I started with. After her evaluation, we identified the specific segments in her cervical spine that had taken the stress. We built a care plan. We explained it to her. She understood it, and she started treatment. The tingling into her shoulder resolved. The headaches cleared. The stiffness came down. It took time and it took consistency, but she came out the other side without that injury becoming something she carries for years. The variable that made the difference was that she made the appointment. She almost did not.